Thank you very much, Rocky. My fellow citizens and residents, I thank you for tuning in to another edition of Leadership Matters. Tonight we focus on our ongoing efforts to keep our citizens and residents safe in the face of a deadly coronavirus disease that continues to threaten lives and livelihoods across the world. We cannot ignore it, and unfortunately, we will have to live with it for a while longer. We must, however, protect ourselves, our loved ones, our jobs, and our country. Our most powerful protection comes through vaccination. As we speak tonight, COVID-19 has caused a 4-week postponement of the planned reopening of the economy in the United Kingdom. It has traumatized Italy and set back our strong ally Taiwan. We are learning from all these experiences and those from our region never to become complacent. COVID-19 does not play by rules. The coronavirus is an invisible enemy, and we must never think that it is gone. It has been lying low, waiting for a prey to infect, to hurt, and regrettably kill. We are its prey, and we must protect ourselves by getting vaccinated. I repeat, vaccination is our most powerful tool. None of us is safe until we are all safe. At this time of global crisis, when a veritable war is being fought against COVID-19, we have to be united and cohesive. We cannot think only for today. We must be prepared to make short-term sacrifices for a stronger and safer future. We cannot think of ourselves only, but also of others. The sage advice of Father Dwayne Cassius, imploring us last Saturday at the NEOC briefing to work as one unit, one family, one country, and one people, must inspire us to work together to fight this pandemic. He quoted from Philippians chapter 2, verses 3-4, which reads, "Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility regard others as better than yourselves. Let each of you look not to your own interests, but to the interests of others." We are truly in it together, and together we must overcome the challenges of this pandemic. COVID-19 will find persons who are vulnerable, the elderly, for example, the young, and the majority of unvaccinated persons to infect with its disease. Do not wait. Vaccinate. Everyone whose second shot is due should go and get it soonest. Our 17 health centers are opened to protect you. COVID-19, when it comes, will not only affect you, but your family. We have had cases where families of 6+ members all tested positive for the virus. I am concerned for every family affected on the island of Nevis and on St. Kitts. We must not wait until we get infected to recognize that COVID-19 is not a respecter of persons. I must express regret that Nevis has now recorded its first case in many months. I wish the person a successful recovery. We encourage the family and community to support the individual. My advice to those not yet vaccinated is to do so tomorrow. We are all in this together. There is no them and us. I repeat, until all are vaccinated, we have to exercise caution and common sense. We are in this together, and that is why I focus on the Federation as a whole the unvaccinated who are highly vulnerable to the virus, and the vaccinated whose lives are put on temporary hold are all part of our beloved country. So we must continue to encourage vaccination as we work to take our federation beyond herd immunity. Every right-thinking and patriotic person should be encouraging persons to get vaccinated. In my view, this is a national imperative. In this challenging fight to contain and defeat COVID-19, we have some good news. A significant number of our citizens and residents are now vaccinated. Just over 66% of those adults who should be vaccinated are vaccinated. And in this regard, we have one of the best vaccination rates among the independent countries in our currency union. I congratulate all of our citizens and residents who have already taken their first dose of the vaccine. We now need for those who have not taken their second dose to do so as soon as possible, and indeed before vaccines run out. As more persons become vaccinated, each of us receive a greater protection as fewer persons are there to transmit the virus. I encourage all who have had the first dose of the vaccine to show up soon for your second dose. This will help the country to move on. This will allow for more businesses to open safely, creating income for thousands of persons, and help us to secure the much anticipated stronger and safer future. The good news is that we have one of the highest testing rates per capita in the region. This means we stand a better chance of finding persons infected, quarantining and isolating them where necessary before they infect others with the deadly virus, while simultaneously giving them the care and support which they need and deserve. The good news is that we have one of the best contact tracing systems in place, which will help us to receive maximum benefit from our testing efforts. The good news is that we have vaccines now, and persons yet to have their second dose should go soonest to do so. The good news is that we have a very low hospitalization rate, and we want to keep it that way. By getting vaccinated, we keep it this way, and we avoid our health system becoming overwhelmed with cases or deaths. The most wonderful news is that God has been good to us, and as a result, we have had no deaths so far. We thank Him, and we continue to ask for His protective cover over all of us. The good news is that we practice a real all-of-society approach in St. Kitts and Nevis, where every entity is welcome to do something, not simply criticize and be destructive. There can be no neutrality when the virus is attacking us regardless of color, politics, age, residence, location, or occupation. No time is there for bitterness and bitter politics. We must do what we have to do to protect lives. On this note, I wish to thank all the hard-working medical professionals and the frontline workers who have been toiling to keep us all safe. Moreover, I wish to condemn any personal attacks that have been leveled against our professionals. This must stop. I have outlined on several occasions that any party interested in providing constructive support in this fight against the COVID-19 pandemic is encouraged and invited to do so through the COVID-19 Task Force. We have created this structure to ensure that we approach this fight in the most effective and efficient way. Please support our hard-working professionals. To those who have provided support, I say thank you. To our churches, our religious leaders, and other supportive individuals across the length and breadth of St. Kitts and Nevis, I ask you to continue to pray for our beloved country. Thank you for your continued support in all our endeavors. I am encouraged that at the end of the current 14 days of partial lockdown or enhanced restrictions, that new policies will be implemented to ensure we are in a better position to live with COVID-19. We will have new quarantine measures and maybe even perhaps a shorter quarantine period. We will have more benefits for the vaccinated. We will have more businesses opening. But in order to get there, I repeat, in order to get there, we need more persons vaccinated. These 14 days are therefore critical. We are focusing on protecting the health of our people. We need a healthy population. Indeed, the health of our small nation is truly the wealth of our nation. Speaking about professionals, I commend Dr. Hazel Laws for her service at this time of national emergency. She is committed, like Dr. Wilkinson and all others in the health system, trying to see us through this pandemic. She has been an excellent choice as our Chief Medical Officer. I have been very satisfied by her excellent work, integrity, and patriotism. I have been impressed by Superintendent Henry's work at the NEOC, and I continue to wish him very well. He's a real patriot, and he's dedicated to duty. Should more persons become vaccinated in the next week, we will come further out of the shadow of COVID-19, with more persons back to work in a safer environment, earning incomes and putting bread on the table of their loved ones. For visitors and locals alike who are fully vaccinated, we will reduce the quarantine requirements as the environment will be safe. This will allow fully vaccinated individuals to access more opportunities and to enjoy life in as near normal a setting as they did before COVID-19. Our children can return to their schools and other centers of learning and not be exposed to COVID-19 because all adults, almost all of us, are fully vaccinated. We must get vaccinated for our precious children who we want to see grow into adulthood. Let us commit then to keep our children safe. We will be better placed to more effectively and safely restart tourism, receiving more guests for our hotels, and welcoming cruise visitors in bubble arrangements. This will result in more jobs, which will deliver more money in the pockets of employees and more profitable businesses, taxi operations, restaurants, etc. Indeed, a win-win for all of us, each endeavoring and each achieving. Vaccination then is critical to our health and our safer and stronger future. I must thank the public for abiding by the new restrictions, and I advise them please to keep off the street unless they are going to get vaccinated or to do essential business. At this time, no one should be careless. I encourage all leaders, be they doctors, lawyers, businessmen, nurses, politicians, preachers, police officers, firemen, you name them, to send a clear message that vaccination is the best fighting tool against this deadly virus. Those who tell you not to take the vaccine, they do not have your best interests at heart, nor that of this country. They will abandon you when you get sick. Avoid those who are trying to score political points by not supporting this necessary vaccination program. They do not have your best interests at heart. It is indeed sad that they are misleading their supporters with false news and untruths, causing them to fall victim to the virus. At this time of crisis, there is no need, I repeat, no need for partisan politics. We will have ample time in the next 4 years for that. For now, we must protect the people and our beloved country by getting everyone vaccinated. I urge all on the front line, the police, the firemen, the prison officers, those working in our defense force at NEMA, our civil servants, etc., who have not done so, to go and get vaccinated soonest. It is a moral duty for those at the front line to protect themselves so that they can safely and truly protect others. I am convinced that only responsible action at the individual level will take us out of the shadow of COVID-19. Let's not wait. Please vaccinate now. It is the responsible thing to do for you, your loved ones, and your country. Before I end, I want again to formally welcome the panelists here tonight with me, our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Hazel Laws, and Superintendent Cromwell Henry. I thank them for being here, and I do hope that you'll find this edition of Leadership Matters to be very informative and helpful to you. Thank you again for tuning in, and may God continue to protect you and keep the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis safe. Thank you.